I learned so much from watching you and talking to you. I feel like, I feel
Don't
grateful
try to pull
for
that try to make me cry on
cry.
camera.
We should, I think
No.
just let it out.
I'm Andy.
And I'm DeVonn.
And we're going to be cooking together.
But kind of separate.
And safely. Did you ever think we'd be in video, by the way, together?
Honestly, no.
Let's back up, because people don't know. Like, we've known each other for...
It's going on like 6 years.
7.
Oh.
Yeah.
7 years. I meant to say
July 2013.
Oh my god, that's so specific.
Yeah. I mean, our friendship really started with Estella. I mean, I think Estella is so important because I know it's definitely shaped both of our foods and the way we approach the kitchen. But
Aesthetic, the food, the flavors.
I think we owe a lot to the restaurant, and obviously Ignacio, who's the chef and owner, and it also was like the start of
our friendship.
This.
Our amazing, budding, iconic friendship.
Yes.
Yeah.
Iconic.
It is iconic.
It is iconic. We concocted a short little, I guess we can say a menu. Both these dishes go together. I'm going to be making a persimmon salad today.
I'm obsessed with persimmons.
When you go around Chinatown, I feel like you see them all over. This is the fuyu, which I prefer. It's firm. It has a good bite to it. I actually just leave the peel on. Most of the time, I don't even peel it. I have spoken to multiple people, and it has a very distinct smell.
Got it.
So I suggest you look for a persimmon and cut into it and take a whiff. And you can DM me and tell me what you think it smells like, because I will not say it on air. All right, so it's a very simple salad. We really are just using a handful of ingredients: persimmons, olive oil, pistachios, salt, lemon, and burrata. It has this kind of just like fresh, fatty, creamy, like really intense milky flavor and so much texture. I like actually taking it out the fridge a bit so I could just kind of remove the chill off. I'm gonna toast the pistachios. Let's say this is like a 1/3 cup. I do a light toast. I am going to start by making kind of what would be the dressing of sorts, which is more of a relishy situation. This is a very small Meyer lemon. Do you like Meyer lemons? Do you use Meyer lemons?
I'm in love with Meyers. They're like so fragrant. The texture, I love like how soft they are. I love preserving them.
I love preserving them. Just trim the knobby ends. And then I stand it upright. And then I just kind of go down and go around the lemon and just avoid this core, like that. Just go right where the pith is and just go straight down. So you're avoiding the seeds in the center. And then you just have this core, which I'm gonna save and I'll juice later.
Tell me about the skin, because you're including it.
The skin of a Meyer lemon is softer than that of a regular lemon. I want the acidity from the actual flesh. I want that slight bitterness from the pith, and I want that fragrant peel, and I think it really makes for a dynamic dressing.
I'm obsessed. Please keep going.
I'm gonna give that a bite. And then I'm gonna check the pistachios. Okay, they're just slightly darkened. You want them just toasty and fragrant and get that sweet smell from them, but I'm gonna let them cool. Next, I have the burrata. I'm just going to break the burrata like this so that you open the sack up and release all the cream, and then season it with salt. There's so much fat with burrata, you do want to season a little bit with salt. I know we're using hands here. I'm sorry. I'm gonna keep the burrata here. I'm gonna wash my hands.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
Okay, so I'm gonna give the pistachios a rough chop. If you don't have pistachios, I think walnuts would be delicious. I think pecans would be delicious. Really coarse pieces, along with like really bitsy, almost powdery pieces. Add the pistachios to the lemon here. I'm gonna add some honey to this. You don't need too much. You'll get a subtle honey flavor, but I do it just because it kind of tames the bitterness from the lemon. Add a bit of salt to season the nuts and the lemon.
So essentially the salt is kind of like it's pulling the liquid out, the moisture out.
Yeah, eventually the salt and the honey and the lemon, it'll like release a little bit of liquid. It has like sweet, tangy, crunchy. There's a lot of texture here. And then I'm gonna just take 2 persimmons. I'm just gonna rip the leaves off. And I just like to cut them into rounds.
Yeah, I think it's definitely like an appreciation for all the different parts of a vegetable or a fruit or a piece of meat, which makes the meal or the dish really exceptional.
All right, I've washed my hands. Now I'm gonna plate this out. Dress the persimmon lightly.
So I feel like a bee, like just transfixed by that orange.
Yes.
It's so gorgeous.
Just a tiny splash of white wine vinegar. Salt, just a little bit. We're gonna put some flaky at the end. And then a touch of oil. Okay, I would use my hands, but I won't this time around.
We're being safe, we're being
I know.
responsible.
I'm gonna take the seasoned burrata, just do it kind of off center. I might have to use some of my hands.
I'm like, stay away from me.
This salad is the longest salad ever. All right, next is the relish portion.
Gorgina. We love that. I love the idea of us just always having dinner from this. Like, we need to get like a place that has this size table.
Hug each other like this and
in the air.
All right, so this is the finished dish. I think it's great as is, and I love the kind of contrast between the kind of slight sweetness and bite you get from the persimmons and the cheese. I'm gonna give you a plate, and you tell me your thoughts.
If this isn't good, I'm gonna call Ignacio and tell him that you're rusty.
Oh my God,
He's gone soft.
He's a tough one.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay. I may have to go into my corner and just... Because I feel like it's doing that separation thing where you've got the sweetness and acidity from the persimmon, the fat from the burrata is on point, cutting through the acid, but also helping to balance it. The texture is genius. And like you said, super simple.
Thank you. Now, let's see what you're gonna do.
Okay.
Now I'm like, now you do the cooking.
Oh my gosh, it's Iron Chef. We are making a sauteed langoustine with chame melon and herbs. I love spice. I love kind of mixing this sweet and savory moment with, and also like love seafood so much. So chame melon is a Korean melon, pretty mild. It's not super fruit forward. And so I think it's a really good complement to a savory dish. And really good with spice.
I grew up with like salt on fruit,
Yes.
but not chili on fruit. But I love the combination of like the fruit, salt, and chili.
It's definitely like a nod to like a pickled mango. It's cool to buy something that's a little underripe because it's not super saccharine. You get more vegetal, you get more firm, more acid. And I think it'll help to stand out against the texture of the seafood that you're using.
Are you gonna leave them whole?
Should I leave them whole?
I never get rid of the head. I crave that flavor. It's my favorite part.
100%.
You do you, babe. I just want to eat it. So
I mean, that's the plan at least. We'll
that's
see
the
how
plan.
it goes.
That's like the hope. That's the goal.
So what we have here is 2 teaspoons of olive oil. So this is heating, and I'm going to just actually take my garlic, and then I'm just going to...
I love doing that.
I love garlic. You don't want it to be kind of like really unctuous and overpowering the flavors of the lemon that's going to go in. And then I'm just going to take about a tablespoon of urfa and a teaspoon of smoked paprika.
Urfa is one of those kind of more milder chili flakes. Is really different to me.
Yeah, it's kind of like it's like worn and smoked in this way that I think is really, really sexy. It's really elegant.
It is the sexy dry chili.
Yeah, it's also giving like kind of like a chocolatey note to it, which I really like. Oh, don't forget my bay leaf.
Bay leaf.
And so when it comes to langoustine, now I should also, you're gonna What you're gonna do is you're gonna take the claw off, put the body down on the cutting board. If you just pop it off, take this and cut through the center of the shell. And then what you wanna do is just gonna press it down. And you wanna make sure that you take out the little intestinal tract there. How many should we do? Should we do all of them?
I mean, I don't know what else we're gonna do with them. I feel like...
That's true. And I'm gonna open it up because what I actually really want, I love a good hard sear on my seafood, but I don't want to overcook,
Of course.
the meat.
Wow, that smells good.
Add a little bit of that to both the head of the langoustine, and then I put the tails shell side down.
Okay.
So based on the size, I'm probably just going to cook this for probably like 45 seconds to a minute. I'm not gonna like overdo it and then flip it for another like 30 to 45 seconds. This is kind of like what you want. That kind of really quick. The color will change, become opaque. Oh, they look so good. They look so good.
Oh, it's happening.
We're going to saute the heads. I'm gonna turn the heat down just a little bit. And you wanna cook these for 30 seconds to a minute longer on each side. You're watching for color again. It's gonna become opaque. Kind of like if you look very closely to this, like this part of this plaid pattern, that's kind of what you're looking for in the heads. And so
do a good zoom on that.
you're looking for this color?
I'm gonna do that one time, except it's gonna be the color of this stain on my shirt over here.
And so while that goes, we're going to make pickling liquid. My mom and grandma would just like always have like a jar of chili vinegar sitting on the side. Like you serve it with kind of everything, like every meal, like with oxtail and curries and different seafood dishes. And I'm gonna take my white wine vinegar and I'm just going to add about 2 tablespoons.
There is this fruitiness with it. It exists in other chilies, but I feel like it's very distinct to Scotch bonnet.
Oh, for sure, for sure. So I'm gonna put this aside and then I'm gonna check on the heads.
That's what I'm gonna go for first.
The heads?
Yeah.
Yes.
I just remember like my father, and he still does this today, like sucking the marrow out of bones.
Oh my God, yeah. My parents would do that at the dinner table and I would just be like screaming on the inside, being like, what is going on? Yes, the noise of it.
You're in there, you're getting in there, it's raw, it's like...
It took me a while to appreciate it. I feel like now looking back, I'm like, right, this is like celebrating the whole animal, celebrating the whole process. You gotta just get into it. You gotta actually like do a deep dive sometime and kind of like surprise yourself at what you like. These are looking pretty good. I'm going to pull them out of the pan. And because this is more so salad adjacent, I want these to cool down before I kind of toss it all together.
Got it.
I'm going to peel my chame melon, and we're also going to deseed it. And so I'm going to lob off the top and bottom, like so.
Do you ever use the seeds? Of melons in general?
I don't ever use the seeds. What do you use the seeds for?
I know like papaya seeds, you can extract them and they have enzymes and people use them in skincare and all that. I one time had one and it was
papaya
so
seed
bad.
face mask?
I'll make one.
That might be the next episode.
Oh, I'm ready. You know skincare right away.
I do
Sign
know
me
this
up.
about you. Yes. So we're gonna have it, and as we were saying earlier, super seedy,
So beautiful though.
so gorgeous. No use for it this time, but save it if you want it, discard it if you don't. What's the shape of the melon gonna be? I can eat it. For me, I'm like, do I do widthwise? Do I do like a half radial moment?
You want me to
I'm like,
okay.
what do you think?
I think pretty thin slices, crosswise or lengthwise, like but really thin, because I think if you get a bit, you want the melon piece to be smaller. I like it.
Good, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so these are going into the bowl. This is telling you, please eat me. I'm so ready to be consumed. So we have our melon in a bowl. So I'm gonna use probably like half the zest that's on one of these lemons. I'm gonna add a little bit of salt. I'm gonna give half a lemon a squeeze. just gonna give it a little mix, just to make sure that all of the little beautiful threads that we made are evenly coated. It should feel kind of like an herb salad, so I'm gonna tend on the side of like just kind of overloading the plate with lots of herbs.
Heavy on the herbage.
What do we have here? We have a little bit of mint that we're gonna pick. We have the cilantro or coriander, and then we have a bit of Thai basil as well. I want like half a cup of each herb. I feel like there's so many dishes that like if you are in a pinch and you just put some fresh herbs on something,
It brings it back to life.
totally like, it's like a little garden. So basically it's time to plate everything, which I'm really excited about because I feel like I haven't cooked for you in so long.
I technically came a month ago.
That is a long time ago.
A month ago?
Yes.
Oh, okay. That is a long time, but it's still like...
When your love language is cooking, I want to cook with you all the time. Start with my langoustine. Cool. Add the melon on top of that. We have the smokiness at the bottom, and then as you go upwards, you get more bright. I'm also gonna take a little bit more of the lime juice and give it a squeeze before I add my herbs. Vinegar. And then I'm gonna go ahead and add like just a few of the pepper. And so next comes the herb. Do you want it to be kind of like this playful kind of garden-like gesture?
Garden-like gesture.
Garden-like gesture, 2021. A little pinch of urfa. Pimenton. And then our flaky salt. And so yeah, we have the sauteed langoustine, chamois melon, herb salad, lots of spice, lots of citrus.
So pretty. There's different parts. I'm gonna go for a head first, though. Okay. That's very good. Seriously, this is really, really delicious because there's so much complexity going on. And kind of just the gentle spices and smokiness you get from paprika and urfa, and that garlic is perfectly toasted. I mean, I just ate a Scotch bonnet. It's so spicy, but I love it.
So I'm feeling like my nasal passages are like fully getting like, it's like a good cleanse from the Scotch bonnet as well, which is in a nice way, in a pleasant way.
I'm very much awake.
If you were sleeping before, wake up.
I don't know why you'd be sleeping.
I think we nailed it.
I'm very happy. I'm very honored. Now the public knows. I feel like a lot of people knew about our love, but now
Yeah, it's
more
officiated.
people know. Who would have thought 7 years ago?
I
Not to
know.
get like full nostalgia, but like
We can go there.
just to see your career, your life evolve, and seeing our friendship and your curiosity for food and I can't wait. It's just the beginning, I feel like.
I'm gonna cry. And
Don't cry. I know.
this was fun.
Yeah.
We gotta do another. To be continued.
I did ask you what are you gonna wear before the shoot, just so I could know. And
Listen, it was a
Now you
special
know.
occasion. I wanted to wear the like most glittery.
There was a moment I was like looking through. I was like, what should I wear? I have this fur coat. I have this. I was
The
like, that doesn't
thing
make
is
sense.
though, like you in a shirt in general is just
That's
what
all
we all need anyway, so it's fine.